Hey everyone, welcome back to XVolt Extras. Currently, I'm filming with this camera. It is a Sony Handycam HDR-CX405, which I got back in 2022, as you can see in this video. Here's another camcorder. It's also a Sony Handycam, but this time it's a DCR-SX85, released in 2011. I got this camera about a month ago, and I've already filmed a couple things with it, including XVolt's Day Out 2. While this camera only records in 480p, I really like the appearance of this camera. Plus, it wasn't really worth the value I paid for it. That's when I began thinking, what if I can find a camcorder that has the 1080p resolution and quality of the CX405 and the appearance and features of the SX85? So I went on the search, and I found one. This is the Handycam CX130, also released in 2011. To demonstrate, I will film the rest of this video on this camera. So, why did I want this camera instead of sticking to the CX405? Well, after I purchased the SX85, I realized there was a lot of really cool features that this camera had that this one didn't, that I wanted my camera to have. Firstly, I like the full-size SD card slot, as well as its position. On the CX405, you have to open up the camera in order to access it, which causes it to turn on. Plus, it's micro SD. One could argue that you could just plug it into your computer because it has a USB, which all the other ones can too. However, I've found through my own use that taking out the SD card and plugging it directly into the computer always has a much faster transfer rate than just plugging it in to my PC. Maybe back when these cameras were brand new, that wasn't that much of a big deal, but especially now that SD cards are very fast, it's much faster to do it that way. And having to turn on the camera every time is really annoying. Secondly, the automatic lens cap. There's a few times that I've accidentally left the lens cap on when filming, causing me to miss a shot. Plus, I tend to fidget a lot, so I sometimes can use the manual lens cover as a fidget toy, which will just wear it out faster. Of course, that's not Sony's fault, that's my fault, but still, having an automatic one with no switch prevents this from happening entirely. And plus, I just like having an automatic lens cap as it's much more convenient to film videos with. Lastly, the build quality. The CX405 was released in 2015, which really shows because the build quality isn't very good. It's made out of cheapy plastic and feels very flimsy and very lightweight, which to some people may be a good thing as it's easier to, just throw around. But personally, I like having some weight and a good feel, which is what the SX85 and the CX130 both have. And I much like using those two more because of the better build quality. Plus, an issue that this model of camera has, which it's not even just me that experienced this issue, a lot of people that own this exact model had this issue. And it's because of the cheap plastic, putting it on a tripod breaks the plastic on the bottom. So chances are if you buy a CX405 and it's been used on a tripod, it will likely have similar damage to this, which the other two cameras wouldn't have. My theory as to why the build quality is so different despite the fact that these cameras are only 4 years apart is mainly because of the whole environment that they were released in. The CX130 and the SX85 were both released around the same time in 2011, which back then phone cameras weren't very good. However, by 2015, when this camera came out, phone cameras were a lot better. So most people started filming with their phones instead of dedicated cameras. As well as this, that camera was worth about $450 when it came out in 2011. This one, you can buy for $250 brand new. I got it for $100 used, which is still more than I paid for this one. So those are my reasons as to why I decided to switch to the CX130 instead of the CX405. I'm actually going to be selling both of these camcorders to make a little bit of extra money, since both of these are worth twice as much as I paid for this one. So that means that after I sell these, this will be my only camcorder. Well, only modern camcorder. Anyway, thank you for watching, and let's end with some test footage from this camera.